Okay, so tutorial time then. The first thing we're gonna add is we're gonna go into the menu. We're gonna add something, and we're gonna add a curve, and we're gonna add a circle. Now we have a circle, right? This circle we shouldn't apply. We should not apply transform on this. Then it's gonna fuck up. But in object mode, we could like rotate it so we can kind of see it differently. Imagine that you would have your face here, like your avatar, and then you might want to have it up here, like that. And then we add a another curve. And this is a curve, this is a circle, and we add a curve that is a path. Right? This one you can rotate if you want it to be like that, right? In the menu over here to the right, on the path, we're gonna select the circle to be the geometry for this path. So we go into the little green thing here. I have to move my head. Cat is in the way. We go here. Fanboy feet. Oops, wrong DMs. Thank you, Seb. Oops, wrong. No, happened yesterday. So I just got on gonna nap while I watch it. Yeah, no worries, Seb. Have a nice one. Good nap. So back to the tutorial. In the settings for the little green thing here, above the material tab, you go into the path, and you're gonna see down here that you can select bevel, and there's round, object, and profile, and you want to press object. When you press object, you can then select a little thingy to pick. It looks like a eyedropper, but you're gonna take that, and then you're gonna select your circle, and then it's gonna look like this. Now we have the geometry on top of this path is using the geometry of this one. So it's repeating this shape over and over of this. This is something you can do with curves and nothing else. Okay. So a good idea is to change the resolution preview up here to maybe, I don't know, 4. So you get less resolution. You can also see that it looks it still has too many lines across, you know? So you can go into the circle as well and change the resolution on that. So now it's more like less geometry. You can go like really low if you want, but then it would become a box. And then the more you go up, it adds more topology, right? And there's one quirk with this thing is that if you select one of these, you see you will probably want to close that hole here. And if you try to scale it, it doesn't work. But for some reason, if you press Alt and S, you can scale it. I don't know why it doesn't work with S, but you have to press Alt and S after you press a point in a path, and then you can change it to smaller. It's not connected here. You can. There's some settings for it. You can fill cap, but you don't want to do that. You want to do that later. Yeah, it's vertex scaling. Yeah. But anyway, it is different, but it's kind of stupid for this one because when you're beginning, you forget, and I did that a lot. This is basically like it's similar to vector graphics. So now I can drag on it, I can move it, and you see it kind of follows, right? So this is a great way to make stylized hair, right? So now we have that. Like, this is how I do hair on my avatars, right? And there we go. Now I made like and if you would like to add more, imagine that you would like to add another dot between these. You select them, and then you right click and subdivide, and then you get another node sort of thing. So you just select the things you want, you subdivide, you add a little bit more geometry, stuff like that, right? And upload it. This is there's a bunch of tutorials for this. And there we go. So here we have our thing here as well. So we can move that around in object mode. But if we would take it here and we can start to play with this. This is basically what the shape of this thing, right? It looks kind of weird, this one. Let's make it better. Like, can make it funny like that, right? Well, weird shape. Maybe really weird. So it doesn't really look like hair at this point. Let's go back. Let's keep it like that. Okay. So when you start to move this, you see it's gonna change the shape of this thing. So this is kind of what you use to shape your hair. Maybe you want it to be like that, or I don't know. You can also make tentacle stuff, but that's not what we're trying to do here. This is for stylized hair. You could bring this up, you see? So if you would change this circle to be more like that, you would have a shape that is kind of, this could be like a claw, I would guess, right? Imagine that this could be like a claw or something. Or an ear. You could also make an ear. Like, you could probably like bring that back a little bit. I mean, you can use it for a bunch of stuff, but I usually mostly use it for stylized hair. And the thing is that this is not a mesh. This is like a, I don't know, generated stuff. But if you want to turn this into a mesh, I do have odds. Yeah, don't worry. I do have odds. If you want to turn this into a mesh, you can go into object up here, because this is, when you feel like this is, oh, this is how I want it. This is how I want my thing to look like, right? Then you go into object, you go into convert. So often when you use stuff that is like generated, it's like you have to convert it to something. You cannot use it completely before you've done that. You go to convert and then you turn it into a mesh. Now I'm not going to be able to edit it anymore. Now this has turned into a, let's see. Now this is a mesh instead. So you see, yeah. So now this is you added. Now you can start to edit it normally. Maybe you want to add something to it. You see, now we cannot use it anymore. So now I have this. Now it has been this. Now it's in destructive mode instead. So that's a good way of doing it. There's a bunch of tutorials on this. It's just that finding hair tutorials is pretty hard, I would say, and finding one that you like. But I found one that was good that I followed over and over again. But then I started to kind of understand it without doing it. So yeah. So this is a pretty good way of making stylized hair. So imagine on my avatar. Let's see. I could use. We could do this. Let's see. The glitter. You can imagine that they use the same method here.